Hey everybody, John Granato and Josh Jordan here with you. We both are on ESPN 97.5. Josh also does a lot of work for SportsMapHouston.com. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet so you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Dusty came out with the comments about how everybody, the organization, the community, the city, and fans, and everybody is going to thank him for not playing Yainer Diaz regularly. Are you going to thank Dusty for not playing Yainer regularly?
That's a hard no, a hard pass for me. But since we're handing out thank yous, how about Dusty should be thanking Yainer that he plays the same position as the two worst hitters on his team? That's what I'd be thankful of. And the thought that because he's a rookie, we should be thanking him for not getting him in there. He's not ready. Rookies shouldn't be playing. I remember this Jeremy Pena guy who they just threw in the lineup last year who was a rookie and ended up being your ALCS and World Series MVP. I think that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, he said quarterbacks don't start when they're young. But they kind of do. They really do, especially if they're good. He did make a point. The only rookie catcher, Buster Posey, was the only recent rookie catcher that won a World Series. Okay, I get that. And he did make the point that Yainer, listen, he knows a lot better than we do about defensively, about the pitchers, who they want to throw to, about calling a game, about knowing the opposing hitters. And he did make the point that Yainer has came up through the system pretty damn quick, and he hasn't been able to, hone his trade behind the plate. I get all of that. And in fairness to Dusty, he has been playing Yainer. He's been DHing. He's got 30. He had, at the time he said this, I think 31 starts behind the plate, 30 starts at DH or vice versa, and 7 starts at first base. So he has been playing him. Even he knows he can't sit him. But with Jordan coming back, Michael Brantley coming, how's he going to get him playing time?
I think he's got to keep playing him part-time at first base. Because back to the thank you thing, I don't think Jim Crane's going to be thanking Dusty for running a 36-year-old with back problems that still has 2 years left on his contract into the ground. I think you still, on a part-time basis, give Abreu some rest. That might be why he's been banged up and so bad this year. He's playing too much. Give him a break, at least maybe once a week. Get Yainer in there and keep developing him.
Yeah, I mean, Yainer can still get a couple of starts. I mean, you're still going to have, J.P. France he can catch. He can catch Hunter Brown. He can possibly catch Urquidy. He can catch him as well. I know that Justin Verlander has to throw to Machete. I know Fromber has to throw to Machete. But you can still get him catching. You still can get him in there. You could still, sit Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike's not going to play every day when he comes back too, right? He's not even DHing. He's not going to play every day.
Not right away. No.
And how good is he going to be?
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I don't think it matters to Dusty how good you are, because we see that with how often he bats Maldonado, how often he bats Abreu, and it just doesn't matter. As long as you're a veteran, Dusty has respect for you, and if you're a rookie, you're going to have to wait your turn, no matter how good you are. And Yainer is that good. He's got to find. He can still find a way. It makes me nuts. It really has. I don't know about you, but it has hurt my enjoyment of this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like having to watch Javier go out there and struggle through 4 or 5 innings. It's just hard to watch. And it tells you Dusty knows the real deal. Think of the game last night. He had Chaz and he had Yainer hitting in front of Abreu.
Yeah.
So, he gets it. So I just think he's trying to be loyal, doing that manager thing. But I think it's about the future here, John, in what happens with Yainer. That's what I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah, really. Dusty has been interesting this year, to say the least.
Do we think Yainer could possibly continue to play first base next year and catch? Because in my opinion, they're going to have to bring in a backup catcher, even if Yainer is your main guy. So if they do that, I mean, they could get a third of the way through the season and realize that Abreu is he's done.
Well,
and then you could move over Yainer to first base, and they don't have anybody in the system at first base that could take that spot, or they'd be there right now.
It's a lot of money. A lot of money to eat, but yeah, and not only that, but if you're a really, really good hitting catcher, you got to move, because your knees are not going to be able to last. You want to keep Yainer, as long as he's hitting like this, and if he continues to hit like he's hitting right now, you might want to move him to first base anyway. You don't want him behind the plate.
Yeah, he's pretty quick for a guy his size. and he'd get more at bats. You wouldn't have to rest him as much if he's not catching all the time.
And maybe you throw him a bunch of fly balls and put him in left field as well. That's a possibility going forward for him. You got to keep him on the field though. I am convinced that the way he is using, because he even mentioned, Dusty mentioned the organization is going to thank him. Yiner's going to thank him. The organization, the fans in the city are going to thank him. Well, I have a feeling that's coming from on high too. Yiner's got to be on the field. I mean, if I'm Dana Brown or Jim Crane, I'm telling him, Yiner's got to play. I don't care where you play him, but Yiner's got to be on the field.